No viewers just yet. Worth a shot. Actually a pretty decent attempt. Still no one here, unfortunately. Well, the only other good one I could think to use would be Blade Beam or Blade Burst. that was close. Still nobody in the chat. Okay, so far so good. At this point I just might start streaming attempts for this challenge while uploading the VOD of it later. Don't know if anyone's in the chat yet. Then again, I do not really have the time to look considering what I'm doing. Alright. I might be able to do this if I keep up this pace. I already have him at half health. About to have him at the border threshold. Could it be the sword of which legend tells? Excalibur! Well, this is the first time I've gotten him in phase 2 since I started challenging this, or doing this challenge. Christ. And I shall make proof of the truth of my title. Alright. That was a good attempt, but I might have a chance at doing this challenge now that I look at it. Wrong button. Hey there, King. Currently on a game, but wanted to give a heads up. Thanks. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll probably be here for a long while yet. Just doing this obscenely difficult challenge. For this stream, I might put in the description what this challenge is, and so that way if I'm in a position where I cannot exactly explain it, You can just either check the top message, pinned comment, or description to see. See you later. Thanks for stopping by.
Game over, huh?
Nice to see some familiar faces at least. No problem. But I found a damage method that actually is effective against Gilgamesh for this fight, Discord or Disorder. So that's good. Feast your eyes, and prepare to be stupefied by my swordsmanship.
No more playing nice.
Jesus, I panicked so bad doing that. I shouldn't have gone for the last one. Yep. Just to chase him. Am prepared to be stupefied by my swordsmanship.
Now you're in for it.
I want the no damage. Just to chase him.
So much for being merciful.
Hubris. Should not have done that. I guess while I'm here, I might as well do that message. So that way anyone who's new to the stream knows exactly what it is I'm doing. I still don't know a name for this challenge. I think I just might call it the Ultima Gilgamesh Challenge. No, that's not quite, because there's still a lot of things I'm using to do this. So, what would I even call this? Precursor. Now that's a interesting name. This stream is currently This stream is current. No, how do I even? I am currently. What would the word be? I'm currently doing. No. God, I wish I was better with my words. Practice stream for a very difficult. Oh. This stream is my attempt at beating Gilgamesh with the following restrictions. Oh wait, wrong. Too early. Remove. I don't like seeing my own message pop up in chat. Nope. This stream is... I forgot I even said it. The stream is my... attempt at beating Gilgamesh with the following restrictions. Hard mode. No damage. No accessories, no equipment, no limit. No weapon skills. No materia. What else? I don't even remember. No damage, no accessories, no equipment, no materia, no limit. No weapon skills. Buster sword. Cloud. Only. Buster sword cloud only 1 HP. Yeah. I guess me attempting would probably be better. Yeah, and then I'll just pin that. So that way people know what I'm doing for anyone who stops by. Hopefully someone does, because it is starting to get very lonely in here. But I guess I won't know until someone messages. I might try to add that to the description as well, if I can. Alright, that's all set. Now just get back with the attempts. Hubris.
Figures within.
And I'm not very sure what happened there. Alright, so far so good. That was awful. Should have waited longer. Cloud. Great. The game devoured my other two parry inputs, and that threw me off. And it ate my parry input there as well. Hubris. Jesus. I get one good attempt and this is what all the rest of the Apparently I mistimed that. Better safe than sorry. Was not sure how that was going to go. Of course. Apparently my timing is just more off than I thought it was. Hopefully I can rectify that, because otherwise... There we go. That could have been better, but he's still roughly at where I want him to be. And then that happened because he didn't kill Tifa at the start of the fight. That should have been a parry, but no, apparently. What is wrong with me? Alright. Type. Not space 2, I don't know why I said that. Or thought that, I should say. Alright. Masa Demon Blade. But he pulled up Genji Shield, so damage is going to be an uphill battle. One, two, three, Discord, oh great. Well, that was horrible. Matter of fact, yeah. I really need to just get him in a position where I can DPS him faster than he can bring up the Genji Shield. One, two, power defense. One, two, carry. One, two. That, okay. How lovely. Damage. Go. Well, that could have been much more cleanly executed. And he pulled out the Genji Shield, great. And I died. Jesus. This sucks. Something I had not thought about, or something I just thought about is if you... Because, to my knowledge, no one has ever really gone out of their way to attempt using the backline safety net that the game gives you at a certain point. Which are pseudo limits. I should not have gone for that second slash. Hey, good luck at the practice. Hey! Hold on. Alright, well now you have my full attention now. Phantasm, how you doing? I saw you did my insane challenge. Honestly, I'm shocked that you even entertained the idea. Thanks for being here, man. And I died. I really appreciate it. At this point, I might just... Doing fine. Thank you. What about you? Right now I'm at a point where this challenge, in particular, is legitimately holding me back from just doing other things on my channel. Whether it be other challenges or, like, some of my story playthroughs I'm doing for Ghost of Tsushima, Lies of P, and Doom Eternal, Doom the Dark Ages.
Not looking good.
But at this point, I might just start streaming all of my attempts at this. Even though it is not conventionally how I would do it, I do know that you can still, like, save recorded footage from, I guess, streams on your PlayStation. So, yeah, this is just what I've been doing. For 2 streams at least now. That is a reset. Right now, the biggest hitch that I'm still being caught on is the Genji shield. I mean, I know it's possible. Like, for example, if he was to bring up the Genji shield when he brought up the rune axe, that would be one thing, but... death. If he summons it during any other point before that, it is just not feasible. I at least found the method I think would deal the most damage in theory to him with these restrictions, which would be just spamming Disorder.
So much for being.
But other than that, I guess I can try Disorder into Aerial Assault again. But the only problem with that is I'm trying to figure out how to not be restricted in attacks like Aerial Assault and Infinity Zen. You should wait for him to use the shield and then stagger him as fast as possible to cancel it. That is something I thought about, like, trying to set up. Like, I guess I see what you're saying, like, using the same, well, with the pressure meter, right? Is that what you mean by that? Just trying to do as much damage until then? I guess in that sense, it might be more possible, because that is what I do for the speedrun of this fight. Well, there it went. Okay, in that sense, I guess I have a different perspective on it. What I might try to do is, for as long as I can... Actually, while I have you, Phantasm, do you happen to know how long the stagger gauge lasts in general? Or not stagger gauge, or pressure meter? How long that, I guess that status against like a boss like Gilgamesh would last?
Oh, you got it.
I've never went out of my way to time it. Ironically, I know like the true extent that that's death. The true extent that that pairing has against, I think it's 10 seconds. Alright, I guess once that pops up, I'll start counting. Something that I got from Doofus is, and anyone watching the VOD of this, there's another challenge runner called Doofus Shinra. I was talking to him, asking him for, like, advice or help on this. His recommendation was if I could somehow find a way to, I forget how he said, I'll have to look for, the DMs we had since, but... Let's start counting now. In my head, at least. Alright, I should start pushing for that stagger. I was talking with Doofus and asking him for some advice on like how to do this challenge. And he recommended waiting to try and stagger him when he has the rune blade, which makes sense. And he said specifically, he did bring up the fact that I had to let him bring up the Genji shield at a certain point. I can actually look up the message, or I guess the conversation we had. He said, but in general, despite how ridiculous this challenge is, he said he believes it could be possible if I did it a specific kind of way. Where is it? I think it's possible if you can make him lose his weapon on second phase. One way I see it happening is stagger him on phase 1 right after he summons the rune axe or banana fan. Get him to 50% HP to trigger legendary and enter phase 2. Avoid attacking him until he summons his shield. Yeah, so that would be the, in theory, methodology. At least one of the possible methodologies I could approach this fight with. But it's a stupid level of precision I need for it. Like, I have to actually, all the conditions have to be perfect, because if I recall correctly, the threat, if you manage to cancel his shield, you'll be able to finish the fight. Well, at a certain point, considering the restrictions, I do not think it's possible to stop him from bringing up the Genji shield at a certain point. At least not that I could think of. That's why I've been trying to think of a lot of ways to avoid the Genji shield for as long as possible. And from everything I understand, another large factor of it is not just trying to use the same pressure bar, but also how the way he loses his weapons. At least the first one, yeah. The way he loses his weapons, it's a relation to damage threshold, but it also is in relation to parrying. So, really quickly, just to show you, actually, let me do one even better. I'm going to load this autosave, I guess. Never mind. I'm going to load this save, then sorry, this is going to take a little bit of setup, at the very least. Infinity's End. I might just put Discord here so that way I can cancel into it. Iron Skin. Reaper's Touch will not be much use to me here. Stardust Ray, Retaliation, yeah. What's everyone's materia looking like? Vitality. Let me just throw Aerith's Stagger one. And then I guess, where's the other one I used? Was it Skill Master? Yeah, I guess I'll just borrow this from Tifa. Yeah, once again, sorry, this is going to take a little bit of setup, but you would be surprised just how much parrying has an effect on Gilgamesh in totality. Where's the Champion's Belt? Nanaki, yeah, just any pair of Sorcerer's Earrings. It was a very basic build, but thanks for your time, no problem. Yeah. It's going to quickly heal everyone up to a tolerable amount, so that way So I'm just going to do this fight where I go out of my way not to parry him. And I'm just literally going to DPS tank him for the most part. Of course, I cannot really avoid if my teammates parry, just because of, you know, how the AI works. But I'm literally just going to wail on him as much as I can. And once again, just to get an idea how long it takes for you to get rid of just everything. And we're gonna set this up. That is how long it would take to get rid of one of his weapons without parrying him. And then I'm going to just quickly run in and parry as much as I can with, like, Cloud, for example. Actually, it'd probably be better to do this without teammates. So then, let me... where is it? This one. Let me just go back in with the usual... I have everything on this, right? Yeah, so this is just going to be me going in with primarily parries. And the difference it makes is actually staggering. The one thing I'm still not sure about is if it carries over through, like, weapon losses. That is the one thing I am not sure about. It is literally astonishing how big of a difference it is. I brought him, like, well under a quarter of his health before when I was, I guess, avoiding parrying, but if you primarily use parrying, that would be the... I didn't test it myself, yeah, yeah, I went out of my way to test it once Doofus told me about it, because I'm not sure if he has the Ultimania, because he said he got it from the Final Fantasy VII Ultimania book, like the one that came out not long after Rebirth, I think, or one of them, or if he just Googled it. But the difference it makes if you go for staggers versus not going for staggers, which is why I'm not sure. There's like in theory, there's a variety of ways I can go about doing this. Yeah, I have it as well. I do not have it, unfortunately. Oh, you can find it on Google. Alright, I guess that's good to know. But there's, like, a lot of weird things for this fight in particular. And for this challenge, that's why I'm not very sure how to approach it. I have no idea if I should spend the entirety of the first phase and send you a leak. I'd actually really appreciate that. Matter of fact, I do have a Discord. What I could do is, I'm not sure how, like, where you would want to send it, but in case you want to send it through Discord, I do have one. I don't see it just yet. Setting I have. It probably is. Yeah, I don't see it. Not sure why. Might be a setting I have, or I don't know, maybe YouTube auto-modded it. Chat filter. Show every message including I guess, hold on. Maybe this will work? You can try sending it again now if you want. If not, then we might have to try alternative means. Like I said, I have a Discord. I also have a TikTok, because a friend convinced me to make one a long time ago, and I haven't used it since. I've only used it recently to talk to people like Doofus, for example. And then Azungi as well. He's very active on there. Add me on Discord. Hold up. Yeah, let me take a screenshot of that. And then, go to Discord. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Forgot how to add people. You can tell how social I am. Seriously, how do I... Oh, there we go. Find... Add by username, I guess. Alright. It's not accept... Wait, what? It's not accepting friend requests. They'll have to become... They will have to add you to become a friend... To become friends. Did I do something wrong? Or maybe it's a setting you have. It's saying that, you're not accepting friend requests. I know I typed your name out correctly. Yeah, I typed it out correctly. Alright. Tell me yours. Alright, hold on. I can't find the option. Yeah, hold on. Actually, I'm not sure how my Discord appears, at least in terms of, account, display name, username. Okay. My username is just, the unknown gamer with, underscores between each word. So just in all lowercase. So, the unknown gamer. I probably have to change that now. Just so that way I don't have someone adding me like years after the fact if they see this VOD. But yeah, that's my Discord. notifications. Oh yeah, there you are. Sorry. Sorry for the long bout of silence. I was looking at something else. Hello. I didn't even know it was a free download. Yeah, sorry. My brain stopped working. From what I understood, I thought it was just like a book or something that you had to buy. Apparently, it's just like a kind of an open source thing that you can download. All right, yeah, thanks. Thanks very much for that, Phantasm. Wait, that might be might be something that we'll be also we would be able to use as a, I guess, a more available resource. I'm not sure if Azumgi or anyone like that told you, like a dreamer or anyone, but a lot of us, not even specifically because of me, it was actually because of JT, Kingdom Key JT. At first, I made like a private group chat. What are you doing? And I took damage. At first I made a private group chat with like me, Azumgi, and a few others, like Soundreamer was there. Specifically because of this challenge, I was just trying to ask like other, I guess, really good players for help about it, and then when I invited Kingdom JT to it, he suggested that this could be just very good for the community in general. So I ended up making a challenge running Discord server that a lot of us are on. Revolver joined recently as well. We plan on also just trying to bridge the gap between the English-speaking and Japanese player bases for the challenge running scene of this game, at least. So with that, now that I know, I could probably hand that over to a friend that I asked to help set up that server fully. That is actually a really good source of, I guess, information for at least Gilgamesh in a challenge running sense. I should have gone for it. That should have been a parry. By the way, if you're interested in joining, you know, or not joining either way, it is, well, it's not open just yet, just because a few people are in it. But if you do ever at some, what was I doing? Ever at some point wanted to join, even just to see what it was about, you can just ask, like, either me or Azumgi or Soundreamer. They just invite me. Alright, no problem. It might be after this attempt, though. Depends on how fast he kills me. Alright. I'm actually grateful that blade beam thing missed. So that way I can just do more damage without raising the Great. I'm dead.
Game over, huh?
Alright, I guess it's time to add you to that server, huh? That did not go at all how I wanted it to. Alright, I believe I just sent it. I guess we'll be seeing you there at a certain point. That was stupid close. That should have hit me. Lovely. Wonderful. That was way too early. Yeah, no problem. Like I was saying, at this point now it started off with somewhat admittedly selfish intentions, as I was just trying to get a lot of other good players to try and help me beat this challenge in particular. But after what Kingdom JT said to me, it shifted my view a whole lot on it. So now I'm trying to, unironically, I've now come to realize, especially in the past few days, that I'm now trying to spearhead a big initiative for the challenge running community for this game. Because a lot of us are very much so in our own corners, and we do not really have any good avenues to get in contact with other challenge runners or other challenge runners who might have access to good like sources of information, like you had, I guess, with Ultimania. I didn't even know you could just download it. Now I do, so I'm probably gonna be reading through that at a certain point, especially anything involving Gilgamesh. So yeah, the more people we can get in that server, the better. I'll probably be... You might see a mod of a kind on there by the name of Yalzong. He's a friend of mine. He's a big Final Fantasy fan in general. That's stuff. He also really loves Final Fantasy VII, but he hasn't played, or has not played, Jesus, either of the remakes. He said he wanted to wait for them to make all of them, and then possibly bundle them together. Which they probably will. They did that for Rebirth anyway, with the Twin Pack. I would have been deaf if I did not do that. That wasn't the... Okay. This probably will be. Yep. I'll also share with you a paste bin I created last year with a ton of info about Rebirth. Oh, thanks! If you could also, actually I might have a better time of doing that. After you give me that, I'll probably hand that over to Yalzong. And then, I forgot I needed I was so in my head. And then he can, because he's a really good, like, server moderator, he runs, like, a lot of Discord servers for many of his friends, me being one of them. And even the ones I have not met. I'll probably hand that over to him, and then he can put that in, like, the resources, thing for anyone who's new to the server, or anyone who need it. I wonder if I should be mixing in, like, disorders. Or some of these. Or just counter stances will be fine. Alright, from this point on, I think I'm just going to focus on staggering. Maybe. Nope. Because now I know you can't really do that, at least not the way you can in the speedrun. Because the speedrun for this version of Gilgamesh, at least, it literally, the way it looks like, yeah, it was close. The way the speedrun, my current PB and I think the world record period for Gilgamesh, in terms of a speedrun, is 1 minute 45 seconds. But I know I can get it down lower with better execution. The run literally just looks like you spamming counter stance, like as buff as you can, just spamming it the entire time, focusing on nothing but damaging him, and then trying to use the same pressure bar from the start of the fight to the end of it. Once you get to like the final phase where he does what's it called? What's the move where he summons all of his weapons? It has a name, right? That was awful. But the thing where he summons all of his weapons, then he's pressured again. Then you pressure him off that, and then that is basically the run. I guess for this you literally just do not do enough damage unless there's just a methodology I'm not using. The only thing I could think to do in that regard is, did you see when for one of Doofus's clears of Gilgamesh with Cloud, he basically did like a floor's lava challenge, and he showed off how like the weird properties of counter stance, and how even if you're at 1 HP, if you get hit by an attack and counter stance is active, it does nothing to you. But during that, he also did like a floor's lava challenge, and I'm not sure if that would be able to increase the DPS any higher by using primarily like aerial attacks, by staying in the air, dashing, and then obviously using things like Discord and aerial assault. That was close. I thought I died. I'll do that just so that way it's somewhat charged and ready, because focus thrust also just deals very good damage by itself. That sucks. Wow. I have no idea what made him dash like that. He should not have. In fact, he should have got caught on me. That might have been actually one of the better attempts if he did not do that. I shouldn't have gone for that last one. I thought I could squeeze it in because it's possible to pair him 4 times there, then do a counter stance, but it is just more consistent to... Is it 3 or 4? I'm thinking of. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 3. can do it 4, but it's generally not worth it for the
So much for being rested.
consistency. Nice try. Cloud, where's... He has gotten in a bad loop here because I can't get the fully buffed. There we go. Fury. That was hubris. I should not have gone for that last one. Alright. Just so that way's built up somewhat. And from here, we'll probably do 2 counter stances at most. And then the rest will just be for focus thrust. I didn't have the preset, I forgot I loaded my save. Well, that is an entirely almost perfect attempt on the garbage because of my absent mind. I'm not even sure what other ability to have up on here. Actually, question, Phantasm. I was talking with Azungi about how to deal with a Genji shield, and he brought up that something I could try doing was using Wildfire. I tried using it, multiple procs of it as well. In fact, one of my practice attempts was just me using primarily Wildfire the entire fight. And yeah, that does target his weakness, but it does not bring up the Genji shield. And I was wondering that do you know if there's like a specific state you have to hit Gilgamesh in for Wildfire to be more effective against the Genji shield, to even cause it to summon to begin with, or no? Because other than it targeting his weakness, doing a little bit more damage to him, and maybe even raising the pressure bar faster, I do not think it would be of much use. I'm not sure what to put in this final slot, because Infinity's End for this kind of challenge is actual garbage. It's too slow and it does too little damage compared to just like either multiple Bravers or Discord or Disorder. The only thing the shield will only be summoned if you use fire spells or limit breaks. Do what's it called? Do like synergy attacks count as limit breaks of a sort? Not even that I think I could bring it up because look. So you know how if like you're in a very dire situation, the game would give you like a triangle prompt to use backup characters like synergy attacks. Alright, that answered my question, because that would have been the only other way I could think to get around it. Well, that sucks. Technically, it took damage even though Cloud is still alive. There's only two options. Only those two options will trigger the shield. Yeah, I figured. That's why when I saw Doofus do a similar challenge to this, he used limit breaks. It wasn't exactly as intense as this, but then again, I guess he knew. He probably tried to do exactly what I'm doing right now and just figured it's not worth the time. I think it's possible, though. I do think, even if it is just barely possible, and this is not even the hardest variation of this challenge I plan on doing. Like, you saw the pinned comment, those are all the restrictions I'm currently operating under, but the one I plan on adding, or the two at very least I plan on adding, is no folios and possibly no buffs. That would include Prime Mode, because in a way Prime Mode operates like a buff for Cloud because it works on a timer. And with no folios and no buffs, that it generally might be impossible at that point. The step further I would have taken it. Well, another thing I can even add is no movement for this challenge. And I do not think I knew explain why that sounds ungodly. So there's those three, and then another one I thought about adding was no abilities of any kind. So just basic attacks. Yeah, those are the one. If this challenge is almost impossible, then once I start adding maybe even no folios, then it would definitely be impossible. But I just don't know what to... Ooh, Flame Bolt Blade. I forgot about that. But I guess it wouldn't trigger the Genji shield anyway, huh? And it would make me airborne, so I'm not very sure how useful it would be to me. I'd be lying if I said that... Yeah, I guess I could try it. At least for one fight. Because I know it messes up Alexander, right? Like, it does, like, really big damage to his forearms. But compared to Gilgamesh, Alexander is actually just a pushover. Alright, please. I think I would have to, even to test it, maybe hit him outside of his... when he summons Muramasa. Because otherwise, it might just be too slow. The only other thing I can think is maybe Genji pose or Gilgamesh pose. So much for my parry. Maybe Discord in the Flame Bolt Blade? That might do more damage than Triangle, Repeat. Please be fast enough. This might kill me though, yeah. Not high enough in the air. I wish he did the Flame Bolt part of Flame Bolt Blade first. But instead he just Bolt Flame. Hubris. That was close. That as well. Alright. wouldn't matter anyway. I took damage there, so I was about to reset, but then I remembered that at a certain point I'm going to have to test some stuff. I mean, that is another reason why I named the title the way I named it. I think I went for 4 there. Okay. I'll parry him, then... Well, did not do anything there, but that might have been because of the fact that he was jumping backwards. Yeah, I think Flamebolt Blade is just too slow. Outside of me being able to use it to possibly damage him more, I don't think it would trigger the Genji shield. I guess the only way I can test to see safely is if it would not do anything. Well, I might have to throw on like a barrier or something, just so that way I can... And this is literally just a test to see if it even works, not even if I could use it. Where are they? What other... What else would I even use? Oh, yeah, defense materia, whatever. Is it vitality? I think so. And I forgot to heal myself. Wrong character. One, 2, 3. No, it does not trigger it. Because if it did, it would have interrupted that attack animation. So, yeah, nothing, like you said, nothing outside of limit breaks and fire magic specifically triggers the Genji shield. That sucks. I guess now what I'm trying to figure out is just what is, like, unironically the quickest, most optimal source of damage. Because on paper, the only other thing that I could think of in terms of, like, very hard-hitting attacks for Cloud that would also damage Gilgamesh a lot would be a Discord into Aerial Assault. But the only problem with that is the same problem Infinity then has. And that's the fact that the animation is so long, and at a certain point you have to ask if it just be... I died. That was actually a really good opening too. Is if like multiple discords would be more damage than a discord into... I keep calling it discord, disorder. I'm just not sure what would do more damage to Gilgamesh. I'm prepared to be stupefied by my sword. I think you're using, Sorry, I got distracted. I think you are using already Mosato. Yeah, because like I said, the problem with all those other attacks, like even a Blade Burst, is they're big animations, and yeah, under normal circumstances, they do a lot of damage, but for this, they are far too slow and are too hindered to be at their full potential. So it just becomes a question then of how many animations can you get in to do the most amount of damage, which would just be disorder at a certain point.
Game over.
Oh no, it still killed me. I thought I barely saved myself.
So much for being merciful.
I wish Doofus was here. Because then he might be able to give me more direct pointers on what he was saying about the method he proposed. I could try messaging him. I'm not sure what he's doing.
Game over, huh?
It's too late on that parry. Well, this run might already be in the gutter because of that. Took damage. I did it too early. Jesus. I just thought about that. The Rune Blade, would be just the objectively weakest damage-wise weapon. At least outside of magic for Cloud, right? So if I really hated myself, I'd be using the Rune Blade instead of the Buster Sword. It's not like I can even optimally use any form of magic with this weapon, either way. Because of the fact that the only magic-based attack I would have access to in Cloud's base arsenal would be like Wildfire. Through the folios and stuff. But it seems barely possible now, so... Well, yeah, that would be more insane. Such is the mind of the sanest Final Fantasy VII challenge runner. Alright, already good damn. God damn it. I need to stop doing that so early. One, two, parry. Okay, sure, buddy. Is that the weakest damaging weapon for Cloud? I know this definitely isn't it. Let me just remove all the... attack power. So that have plus 20 attack power. Definitely wouldn't be the Igneous Saber, because that's the second highest damaging weapon Cloud has. Buster Sword, and then we just look at... Yeah, no, it would be the Rune Saber. If I truly despised myself, if I wanted to make this challenge even worse, I'd be using the Rune Saber. Because it's the lowest form of damage. And that's something I realize that sucks about this challenge for Cloud specifically. Every other character, maybe other than Aerith, has some kind of something that mitigates some of Gilgamesh's more abhorrent stuff for this challenge. Like, I don't even need to explain why Ketchi probably wouldn't have a problem with these specifications. His base kit literally just allows him to use every, at least, second stage of materia, like spellcast, for the 4 primary elements. He has that base kit. Yeah, sure, it's tied to a slot machine, but that doesn't matter. If you just spam roll a dice enough times, you will get fire at a certain point. And then Yuffie, she can imbue her, she has the ninjutsu. She has a materia, like a elemental materia default for her weapon. Red 13, vengeance mode, count like retaliation. Barret might be the only one I think it would have like a harder time, but I know that Doofus also did like a, not exactly what I'm doing, but a similar challenge to this with these specifications. Aerith would be the only other one who I think would have a hard time. Tifa, her entire thing is like the second you get to like any form of stagger, you're screwed. Because she can capitalize so stupidly off of it, and then she has that tech where she can endlessly, with Unfeather Fury, just hold square twice into dive kick. But Cloud, he doesn't really have a way to circumvent a lot of Gilgamesh's stuff in that regard. And then a lot of the other characters have a way to make themselves immune or phase through the phase 2 attack that Gilgamesh has. Legend Derpy Strike. Like, Red can make himself immune to it, if I recall correctly. I do not remember how, but I think he can circumvent it. I think it's with Wild Charge? Ketchi, he can just apply, what was it called? Reflect to himself. Yeah, the most interesting challenge is using Cloud in this case. Or Aerith. She would be the only other one. Just because of, Aerith is in the purest sense of the word, a setup character. When I did my solo Aerith no damage like run against Gilgamesh with her, the entire like first half of the video was just setting up against him. Setting up what was it? What's that move called for her again? Transcendence, and then Radiant and Arcane Ward. But because she has Transcendence, she has access to like a fast enough high damaging attack that you don't really need to use immediately. She has Raid Judgment, so she can deal more stagger damage or increase the stagger threshold damage. Chrono Aegis is also passive damage. If you've seen one of Rufus's clears of Gilgamesh with Aerith. Him just getting near her does minimum 1,000 damage, if I recall correctly. But that, granted, that would be with like the right setup and stuff. I don't know how, but it's still better than nothing. Sorcerer's Storm, like Soul Drain 2 is really good for damage. You'd be surprised how much damage it can do. Even in like Remake a while back, I saw someone do a solo no hit of the Arsenal with Aerith and no materia. In the entire fight, they used Soul Drain on the cannon arms to stun lock it, essentially. But other than Aerith, Cloud is just in a position where he has no realistic means of being able to circumvent a lot of the stuff that Gilgamesh has for this specific challenge. And like I said, I shouldn't even have to explain why this MF has the easiest time. Any character that's able to attack while casting magic and parrying all at the same time, while also being able to, in some cases, set up 2 limit breaks and have 2 limit breaks be active at the same time. He's the only character in the game that could do that, to my knowledge, unless you count Sephiroth, because he has the follow up with Omni or Octa Prime. But even then, it's not like it's 2 limit breaks happening at the same time. It's just he's following up from Octa. Yeah, I guess. Back to those. One, alright. Sick to my stomach. That was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen him do. I was hoping that'd be barely enough to catch him. Once you have a stagger bar almost filled, just wait till he uses shield. Better not to wait. Yeah. That makes sense. I guess I'll just get it here, then everything else will... Not exactly the best. I forgot to set up the shortcuts again. And I was looking at this menu for I don't even know how long. I'm still not sure what to put in this final slot. Blade Bursts and Infinity's End are no-goes. The only other thing I can think of to use is Braver. But I might just throw Prime Mode just to save time and menuing. Next time he summons shield, yeah.
You had your chance.
Shatter your bones. I guess the one good thing that I can actually feel about this fight, the longer I do it, is the fact that, similarly to when I first started no-hitting Gilgamesh, I, at a certain point, started noticing... Never mind. Noticing, like, a consistent pattern, like, a specific string of patterns that you can do that, for the most part, 100% guarantee when you can actually predict when to stagger him. Now, I am noticing that pattern up until he loses his spear. I forget the name of it. But after that, in terms of like how to consistently set up like the stagger gauge, the pressure gauge,
Game over, huh?
it's difficult to say. But the one thing I can postulate, if anything, of what you've been saying, what I've been thinking, what Doofus said to me, like, at this point, like, 1 or 2 months ago when I asked him about it, and never mind. When I asked him about it initially, is that at a certain point, I am going to have to try and find a way to do nothing but damage to him and DPS check him, and then set up a stagger towards the tail end of his like hidden health gauge with Runeblade into the second phase. Then, for one reason or another, Doofus never specified, he said wait for him to bring up the Genji shield, then just try beating him to death. That is all I've been able to really postulate on how to do this. It's just how to do it, because I can tell you this. There may be like some other players that are more knowledgeable than me in a lot of like the internal mechanics of this game. But just from what I know, I can tell you that it requires a very specific and precise set of inputs and, I guess, scenarios and parries and things like that. And an obscene level of execution. Like, it's almost like an Eye of the Storm situation, or like the planets aligning. Like, that's almost how perfect it feels like you have to be to get him in any position where this is even somewhat feasible. What?
Some hero you.
That stun locked me. That I should have got a parry off of that, but Lord have mercy. I should not have done that. But all I know is that I'm getting to a point where this first quarter of his health, I'm now being able to whittle down very fast and consistent. I don't know. I have it on my quick menu. I shouldn't be. Should not have done that. I will go as far as say that in order to... One thing I can tell you from everything I've gathered so far is that if you want a better chance to get him within a certain health threshold, he has to do Pinwheel. Matter of fact, in order to lower his... You want to know what? Hold up. Hold up. If I can predict when he's going to use Pinwheel, there is one instance where I know for a fact when he's going to use it, and that's out of Gilgamesh pose. But if I can predict when he gets out of Pinwheel, then I just exit out of Prime mode. Then parry spam him to try and lower the hidden gauge where the health threshold would be for him to lose his weapon. Now, if only my parry timing wasn't actual dog water. I have the title of parry guy, and for some reason I have a hard time doing that. After this, it might just be Gilgamesh guy. Okay. That tracked me way better than it had any business to. think he's going to do it soon.
Figures who would invite this.
That would have almost been perfect. Actually, I'm not sure if it would have it, but Phantasm, can you look and see if the Ultimania says anything about if that parry threshold that lowers Gilgamesh's... Sorry, a plane just started flying by. And it is loud. Yeah, more specifically, if you could check to see if that's permanent. If that just stays across the board. Or if every time he loses a weapon, it resets. Because if I can figure that out, then I think I might have a better idea how to approach this. Because so far, after the first one, I don't know. I don't know if I have to focus more on damaging him or setting up that threshold again. Or I guess dropping it, I should say. From here on out, it is just damage.
Oh, you down?
Too late. What? I just thought of something. Hold up. Nope, that sucks. Yeah, I'll have to do it during this pressure phase. That way I can actually do more damage.
Oh, you got
Hubris. That was close. Probably should have gone for a counter stance instead. If an attack is perfectly guarded, the threshold for losing the next weapon decreases. Ultimania doesn't give any value. That's the only information related to it. Damn. Shit. Well, I do know how much he gets affected by parrying. Well, at the very least, if you do like half of Gilgamesh's pressure gauge of parries, then it drops to like, I'll go as far as say maybe like 5% of his health bar for you in terms of like a damage threshold to make him lose his next weapon. The only thing I'm not sure about is if that's a permanent change. I guess there's only one way to find out. Because at this point I'm beating my head against the wall. And I need to get a better idea of how to do this. I'm just going to do as normal of a Gilgamesh fight as I can do, where I do nothing but parry, but... Tifa, if you could heal me even a little bit for this fight. That's fine. Should be focusing on parrying more than anything else. I just remembered what my objective was. Okay. Now, from here, I'm just going to damage him once he summons Muramasa. Just as much as I can. That's fine. Okay. I think it might reset. Even if it is just by a percentage. Because if it stayed the same... Yeah. Alright, now let me just do nothing but parry from this point on. That should have been a parry. No spells. Damn. This is another way to tell even better would be to just not do any damage to him whenever he staggers. To see better. But I'm starting to think that it resets for each weapon.
all your limbs. Feast your eyes. Prepare to be stupefied by my sword. Let's do this.
Well, that sucks.
Get ready.
Now we're literally going to sit here and wait for his stagger bar to go down, so that way we can actually see how much damage it takes. And because we staggered, we have that. I don't think most people realize that, at least for this fight, whenever you stagger Gilgamesh and you have like a, I guess, elemental materia, it actually makes like a little red circle thing that floats around you. Oh god, that's a problem. I can still parry. I'm about to reset, because I did not expect it to hit me. Yep.
Oh, you got
Actually, another question, hold on, my brain is loading. A lot is happening. Another question, Phantasm. You're on PC, correct? I mean, how else would you be doing, like, all the modding stuff that you've been doing on your channel recently? Do you think it'd be possible for you to look into the game files to see how exactly, Gilgamesh's, parry thing works? Because if I cannot get any, like, real clear, concise stuff from my testing right now, that could definitely be a way to help. But I'm not sure about now, but maybe some point in the future. Problem. Okay, never mind, you might not have to. It does reset. Oh, that's a problem. Then that means I'm not sure how that... God, that just made this fight infinitely more complicated. So, general information to know about the way Gilgamesh, or more specifically, what leads to Gilgamesh losing his weapons. Obviously what the Ultimania said, and I guess looking back at what it said, right? Where's the message? If an attack is perfectly guarded, the HP threshold for losing the next weapon is decreased. Yeah, okay. As vague and as strange as it sounds, seeing it in practice, it now makes sense. So, every time Gilgamesh summons a weapon, period, even if the one he starts with, you have to perfectly parry him in order to drop the damage threshold for you to essentially hit him once, and then he loses the weapon. And in order to guarantee like how low you can get it, minimum halfway through his I guess, pressure gauge. If you wanted to, I guess at a certain point I might go back and watch the VOD and count how many parries I did. But at the very least, half of Gilgamesh's pressure bar, once it's filled, that puts you in range to hit him once or twice, and that gets rid of one weapon. Go to Discord and read my DM. Oh, this is the thing you were talking about earlier, right? Basic information: 100,001 HP, or 100,000 101,222 HP hard. Goes up by like, what would that be? 43,000 and 400 ish more HP. Very hard. What would very hard be? Would that be Rulers of the Outer World Gilgamesh? Or would that just is hard dynamic and then very hard is hard mode? Level 25, funny. Shield origin. God, my nose is so stuffy, I don't know why. Gilgamesh equips weapon in real time based on battle conditions. As his HP drop, he changes his weapon. Yeah, I knew that much. Gradually discards old ones. Weapon switch also occurs at HP thresholds when break gauge activates. Use unique skills like Gilgamesh pose. Excalibur. Battle starts equipped Excalibur. Excalibur attacks are fast and hard to dodge. Weapon behavior pattern: Excalibur powerful, less slash from overhead. Very hard is VR mode 1. Alright, yeah. I figured. Runeblade fires elemental projectiles from ranged. Masamune mid-air repel multi-attack or multi-hit slashes. Muramasa or Masamune. I guess this would be new information to me because I'm not familiar with these ones. Or I guess it'd be Messy Mooney and Busted Sword. Phase 2. Phase 3. If not defeated, countdown ends, unleashes massive final hit. Final countdown duration 15 seconds. If attacked during Gilgamesh's limit break, he may enter Gilgamesh pose. While in pose, damage taken is drastically reduced. If he survives a finishing blow, he may counterattack with a dramatic finishing move. May summon Enkidu during the. Which version is that? The may summon Enkidu during final phase. Is that Rulers of the Outer World or base? Because I'll be honest, at a certain point, I killed Gilgamesh far too fast for him to even have a chance to summon anything in both versions of this fight. But in general, I am less experienced with Rulers of the Outer World just because I don't like having to go through Kujata, Phoenix, Alexander, and Odin just to get to him. I guess Bahamut and Titan as well. This one's the one. Some Yeah, I have no idea what that is. I guess I've killed him every time I fought him. Yo, Kingdom. I guess JT. Me and Phantasm are theory crafting for this fight right now. We're going over everything we figured out. So far we figured out from like after or more specific, we got a more clear outline on what the Ultimania means whenever, because the Ultimania says for Gilgamesh, if you perfectly parry him, there's like an invisible gauge. It reduces the amount of damage you need to actually get rid of one of his weapons. But I did not know if that was like a permanent buff or I guess debuff against him, and that every other time he summoned a new weapon, it dropped the percentage by, it may have like reset the bar, right? But it still dropped the percentage you need. No, the way it works is every other weapon. I guess now that, once again, after I did the testing, in hindsight, it makes sense now, the wording, but every other weapon, right? Even the first one he starts with, depending on how often you parry him, it dictates how much damage you then have to do with him to reach a certain health threshold to make him lose that weapon. It resets each new weapon. So I'm just, I guess right now I'm trying to think in my head because something that's cool. I can't believe you guys are using the Ultimate Mania. We at this point we have to, because we're Phantasm also gave me something on Discord of like, I guess like what would it be called? It wouldn't be a file dump, right? What would it be called, Phantasm? Like a decompiler, where like a lot of the data in the game exists and it's more direct on what it is. I'm not sure what it's called, but he gave me something that had like a lot of like the game's internals and how certain things worked. Pastebin, yeah. And we're looking over everything, right? Because we're trying to figure out if we can At this point, I'm trying to figure out if I can manipulate Gilgamesh's AI for this challenge in particular. Because all I know is that, especially if what Doofus said is anything to go off of, this challenge is barely possible with the restrictions I set up. It's gonna sound weird, but you can swap your green and blue. This is gonna sound weird, but can you swap your green and blue materials with each other in your sword? Because green near the handle is more lore accurate placement. Well, yeah, I know, but for some reason, I just like seeing the. I just like seeing the elemental materia closer to the base of the hilt. That's just for me. I know lore accurate cloud would be like this, and if I was looking at it from this menu, uh that's how I would prefer to set it up, but like you said, it appears like this on Cloud Sword. But I guess for this it won't matter because we're doing this. All the restrictions that we're currently working on is in the pin comment. Both look cool either way, yeah. Uh, but right now, I'm just trying to figure out how to go about this fight because I may not know the steps required, but I can tell you this: I have enough experience to know that this challenge needs an obscene level of precision and execution, and to some extent, you need Gilgamesh to do a specific set of attacks. I'll go as far as say each weapon in order to realistically not only get him down to specifically the rune blade, because when I brought it up to Doofus, like I'll go as far as say a month ago, maybe not 2 months ago, but I was talking to him and he said that he thinks it's barely possible if I did a specific set of things. Hold on, let me pull up the DM from him. He said, I think it is possible if you can Time him losing his weapon on second phase. One way I see it happening is to stagger him on phase 1 right after he summons either Rune Blade or Rune Axe or Banana Fan. Get him down to 50% health to trigger Legend Derpy. Enter phase 2, avoid attacking him until you see him summon Genji Shield. That last part, I will be honest, I do not know if he knows something that I do not about Gilgamesh. But just getting that, because I know it's possible. I've done it a few times. One of my best attempts was earlier this stream where I got him down to the Rune Axe and I got him into phase 2 territory. And I was well into phase 2 before he killed me. But it's just getting there is the hard part. Yeah, this challenge looks insane. Some RNG will definitely be in order for it to work. Yeah, but I guess another thing, I'm not sure which one it is more, RNG or execution. I don't know which plays more of a factor in this fight at a certain point. And I was telling Phantasm that this is not even the hardest this challenge can be, and a restriction I just thought about is like weakest attack stat or like weakest attack weapon, which would be the Rune Blade. So if this challenge is barely possible now, if I add that, and for example, one restriction I probably will add after this, if I do complete this challenge, is no folios. So if you pair those two things, that might genuinely push it into impossible territory. And that's without the other 3 restrictions I thought of, which were no buffs, which would include Prime Mode, because Prime Mode in a way acts like a buff for Cloud. And then no movement and no abilities, period. Like no unique abilities. So if it was impossible before, or if it's near impossible before, if I do all of that, it's definitely impossible. But looking at it, like, one reason why most people say, like, no folios would suck for this, and yeah, it would, but for Cloud at least, is because of aerial onslaught. But for this specific challenge, I think aerial onslaught will not be as helpful as it would be in other situations, because at a certain point I've determined that for this challenge, which save was it? For this challenge, the big attacks the big attacks like Infinity's End and Blade Burst and even Aerial Onslaught, I don't think they would be good in terms of like DPS, because the animations for them take too long. The only one that technically doesn't match in that regard, at least compared to Infinity's End and Blade Burst, would be Aerial Onslaught. But I ended up, at least in theory, I'm not sure. I would have to get exact numbers, but I think Disorder would do more damage because you can get at least 5 disorders in before Gilgamesh exits out of stagger, and that does a lot of damage. And it especially once you pair that with Prime Mode and how it actually makes you entering like the final hit for Prime Mode to trigger, I guess, re-trigger the extra buff for Cloud to make him do that much more damage. But at a certain point, it's like I'm now trying to get this fight down to not just the science, but down to the molecule to even try and make this possible. I've been looking into every source I can. I've been trying to reach out to as many people as I can. I guess you knew that beforehand. But if I was to reference the Discord, for example, now that's just more of like a community thing. Like you were saying earlier, that this is just a good thing for the community as a whole, so that way, you know, a lot of us can, whether it be over stream or even a Discord call, we can just theory craft about this kind of stuff if one of us comes up with like just an obscene challenge. The only other person that I think would have like an ungodly time with this kind of challenge would be Aerith. But I'm not sure about that. I remember Fennekin talking about how they thought that like a no materia type of challenge like this might be impossible for her, but I do not remember. But everyone else, they do not really have that problem. I believe in you, bro. Really wish I knew more about this fight, but sadly never got this. Yeah, never got the save. Theory crafting is great for the community. Yeah, it is in general. I guess that's something you have to look forward to next playthrough if you ever, uh, go out of your way to do it. But I guess technically Aerith as well. Cloud and Aerith, they do not really have tools that circumvent Gilgamesh in this state. Tifa can do obscene amounts of damage with her Unfeathered Fury cancel into dive kick. That's how the speed run works for her. Fennekin is great at this kind of stuff. I wonder if we can get her in the server. I was wondering that too, but I'm not sure if she's active. Because it's been like a month since she's last uploaded, right? Barrett wouldn't really have a hard time with this challenge, I wouldn't think. Like everyone past Barrett in this line, they have things that directly counter Gilgamesh in this state. Red has Vengeance mode and Retaliation. Yuffie has Elemental Materia built in because of ninjutsu. And she can clone herself, making her do double the damage, period. And then she has things like Supreme... What was it called? It was Supreme... Art of War, yeah. And then I like I was saying to a Phantasm earlier before you got here, Ketchi, I do not need to explain why. Ketchi's busted beyond belief. Any character that can cast magic, use his abilities, parry and attack all at the same time, it goes without saying, and he's the only character in the entire game where you can have 2 limit breaks active from one character. I think it's if you use a second limit break and then have it set it to where, or if you time it to where a second limit break has him getting hit and you have HP MP swap, then it charges his next limit break and you can do the third one. Yeah, let's say that if we can't figure out if execution or RNG is more important, I'd say just keep practicing the moveset and see if you can find something truly impossible to avoid his attack set. The only other character that can technically do 2 limit breaks at once is Sephiroth, but that's just because he has to follow up to Octaslash. But it's not even so much like he's doing 2 limit breaks at once like Ketchi does. He just does Octaslash and follows up with a second limit break of a sort. But like everyone in this row over here, they have something that directly counters Gilgamesh in the way he works with these specifications. The only reason why I also said Barrett wouldn't have a hard time with a challenge like this is because I've seen a doofus do a no materia challenge with Barrett. And I remember Fennekin saying something along the lines of she's not sure if it's even possible, like a certain set of restrictions is even possible for Aerith. Tifa is self-explanatory. The second you stagger anything is dead. The amount of damage she does the second anything goes even close to stagger is disgusting. And then Cloud, he just doesn't really have anything that circumvents Gilgamesh with these restrictions. Wildfire doesn't work. Azumgi, brought up maybe we should try using like where is it? Wildfire to see if it procs Genji Shield, but Phantasm was saying that only the limit breaks and a fire materia trigger it. We tried for a bit with where is it? Flamebolt Blade, but it's too slow. And the one time we did get it to where Cloud wasn't hit out of it by Gilgamesh, it didn't do anything. So at this point, it's just like hard theory crafting that me and Phantasm have been doing this entire time, for the most part. I wonder, like, I was saying that, like, I wonder what Doofus would say if he was here. Because the method I brought up earlier to you was from him. And I'm just trying to figure out how to do that in execution. I'm just trying to figure out at a certain point because also Gilgamesh, after he loses a weapon, yeah, it is going to take a lot. This whole fight is a knowledge check at a certain point. For when it comes to like a lot of challenge running communities, when they come up with certain challenges, it becomes a hard knowledge check. You have to know the game and the boss you're trying to do down to the atom of how like specific the specifications are to even beat the boss. In some cases, even to get it halfway. Like if I was to think of an example of like a similar challenge that's like that was thought to be impossible for like I don't even remember. You know, if you need a fast stream of knowledge, maybe you can set up a time for all of us to join voice chat in a server and discuss there. I thought about that. But I will be honest. Well, I am. As I am an introvert, I'm just very antisocial. I never go out of my way to talk to people. But in this specific instance that you're talking about, I'd be lying if I said if I was not somewhat nervous. Because a lot of the people who are in the Discord are people I looked up to for years for Final Fantasy VII challenge runs. So it's just, you know, it's like meeting your heroes moment in a way. And also, I just did not want to disturb any of you with my nonsense. It is something I definitely thought about, but I guess I could just ping the server and ask, like, hey, when do all of you think you'll be available? So all of us can get in a call and just try and figure out this this MF. Because this is starting to get ridiculous. The only one who would not be there would be Doofus, but I don't... Like I was saying in the Discord before, I do not think he has a Discord of any kind. The only thing we could try is, like, I guess, while all of us are in the server on a call, then directly messaging Doofus through TikTok and the Gilgamesh chat we made. That'd be the only thing I could think of. And once again, everyone would have... I guess it also depends on, like, everyone else's shyness in that regard. Like, I'm not sure how open Phantasm would be to it. At least I know that you don't see it as a waste of time. Probably everyone else too, but you know, meeting your heroes is still a is still very nerve-wracking. I'm really bad at speaking. Oh, English isn't your first language? I did see Japanese in a lot of your videos descriptions. Is it Japanese that's your first language? Honestly, it sucks that Spain. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not familiar with the Spain dialect of Spanish, but I do know how to speak Spanish, the Colombian dialect of it, from my mother. Your wife is Japanese. Oh, okay. I'm not sure how much that would help. Because like I said, I'm not sure the gap between the two different dialects. But I am dual lingual in that sense, and on the verge of being trilingual because of Japanese. If I recall correct, I think Sound Dreamer said something similar, that English wasn't their first language, but I don't remember what they said it was, what their first language was. Gotta go, but it was fun. Thanks for talking. Yeah, no problem. See you around, JT. I'm not sure how long me and Phantasm will be here theory crafting this stuff. Probably for a long while yet. Oh, here we go. Back to practicing. Oh wait, did I take off? No, I didn't. I forgot. Yeah, no, it's all set up. Wrong button. Where... If I were you, I would practice with full HP. So even if you get hit, it continues. That's just my opinion. The best way to... Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, at a certain point. Because... Yeah, no, you're definitely right. Because right now we're trying to even figure out if this is possible. Let alone doing it with the 1 HP restriction. The only problem I would have with that is it is going to be a hard habit to break, not to reset the second I see a damage number come up. And that didn't work. This only works if you're in the air. Thanks, Cloud. I'm glad that you did not chase him. That's a damn shame. What? Oh. I think Phantasm might have left. Not sure. 2 hours of theory crafting, though, that actually helped me a lot. Even if he isn't still here. Probably in the Discord, at the very least. Bare minimum. Oh, I forgot. I need to set his roles. Um, where is it? Add roles, moderator, challenge owner. I should probably also add a new role for modders. Game modders. Gay modders? No, game modders. Alright, see you next stream. Phantasm. Honestly, I might end it as well because it's getting hot and I hate the heat. Yeah, I think I'll end it. Oh, I didn't miss him. Well, he was leaving. But yeah, well, no, it's just two. Maybe I'll. Oh no, I think that's me. Because I had to close the chat and bring it up again. Yeah, I think I'll end the stream there. To any of the VOD watchers who want to look back at possibly for all I know a moment in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's challenge winning history. Because I have no idea what this is going to do, where this is going to go. I have no idea how this is going to explode, if it is going to explode. But you at the very least can see like what are the points on the graph of the timeline of what the mentality was and the headspace was for I guess the few of us who started to come together and try and figure out and literally start to break down this game to a science for challenge running, and just how far and how passionate a lot of us are. And I guess there's so many amazing people in this community, so many good players, so many that I have such a great respect and admiration for. Like how Kingdom JT and Phantasm showed up, and we talked about and started theory crafting stuff. Azungi is also another amazing player. Doofus, Sound Dreamer. Just so many amazing players. More than I can even name in this current moment in time. Revolver, like just so many good players. But yeah, if you like the stream, please. Ugh. If you like the stream, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember to always stay anonymous.